Quincy Jones before the curtain goes up, and the curtain's going up on a tale of an old tale. I think it was actually the very first Disney cartoon, if I remember correctly, Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, a story that's being done all the time now, right now, because we've got a movie version coming out, but we have a stage version coming up, and there's not seven dwarves, there's only one. But wait, no, there are seven. What's going on? Um, let's find out. Let's talk with Carly and Kat. Hi, Carly and Kat.
Hi.
Hi, David.
So, first off, there's only two of you. What's going on?
hmm
Kat, you take it first. What's going on?
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's just we're just two buddies hanging out and we want to tell our story, but unfortunately, the show's ready to start and there's only two of us. So somebody, maybe me, convinces the other to let's just go for it. Let's wing it. I think we can tell the story pretty well. Um, and maybe somebody agrees. So that's why there's just two.
Nice, nice. And so, you guys swap characters as you're doing this, as I guess the story dictates. Um, Kat, you start off as one of the dwarfs.
No, I start off as Snow White.
There you go. Okay.
Mhm.
And Carly, the very funny Carly, I know Carly as being a very funny person. You're playing, well, you tell us how it's staged because you haven't started rehearsals yet. You're just about to start rehearsals. This
That's
curtain's going
right.
up. This curtain's going up way, way, way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So I'm dwarf number four. They actually, in the original story and in our story, don't have the names that we associate with the Disney film. So I'm dwarf number four, and all the other six of my friends are not here to tell the story. So with Snow White's gentle, sometimes not gentle prodding, we decide to tell it all ourselves. And I play all the dwarves, and Snow White and I switch back and forth between playing the evil stepmother and the queen and the huntsman. So it's really fast and dynamic, and we'll figure out how those transitions go once we get in the rehearsal hall. But yeah, it's gonna
Nice.
be super fun.
Who's directing this one?
Jenica Granke.
Nice.
Mhm.
So she's not giving you any hints yet.
Well, we auditioned together. So Kat
Mhm.
and I got to meet in the audition hall. So we have a sense of how it will go because we got to have a really fun time playing together. And yeah, it was a blast.
Nice.
Yeah, and I know we did do a photo shoot already, so we have an idea of a couple of props and costume pieces we'll be using to kind of translate the changing of characters, like the transformations through costumes a little bit.
Oh, nice. So, and now, Carly, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but you were also in the Juliet show. Am I remembering that
Yeah,
correctly?
Juliet, a revenge comedy.
Yeah. So you played a bazillion people in that, and it was all with how you contorted your face and changed your voice. So, are you suspecting it will be similar to that?
Well, that's what I brought to the audition, so I think so. It's a funny thing to be if I'm going to be typecast in a type of role. This is the one that I want to do over and over again. Is one where I get to play a gajillion characters. So,
Nice.
yeah, it's definitely an actor's dream.
Now, this script, this is an adaptation. I guess this property, this intellect, this IP, as they say, is in public domain. Who created this script? Because was this brought into Carousel?
Yeah, the author is Greg Banks, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
And so they did it in the States, and they've done it at Young People's Theatre in Toronto before, but the first time it'll be out west. It's quite a new script, so.
Nice, nice. So, Kat, does this because you even though you haven't had rehearsals yet, you've read the material. Does the play go off the rails at some point? Like, does it suddenly, like in the Juliet show that Carly was in, does it suddenly like, oh no, now we have other characters coming into the story?
You definitely follow, like, if you know Snow White's story, you'll be able to follow and see the characters that you know. I would say that there are definitely some things that are not the same as the original or the Disney show, with a couple of twists for oh my gosh, how do I say things without spoiling them?
Oh, spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers. But yeah, definitely a couple twists on the ending for sure.
Wait a second. I just realized too that the prince wakes up Snow White with a kiss. Are you guys going to be making out in the show?
Remains to be seen. I will say
Yeah.
that Snow White is far more of a driver of this story than she is in the other versions you might have seen.
Right. She's sort of in charge. What attracts both of you to doing children's theater? Is it like, oh, I like all theater, or is there something special about performing for children?
Yeah, I'll go first. I think that youth theater. I also work at Presentation House Theater that has a quite a diverse children's annual schedule, and I think the best audience you can have sometimes is a youth theater, especially working like as a performer and also in front of house and box office. Children just bring an amazing energy. They're excited for you. They're rooting for you, and I think it's wonderful to show young people from a right off the get-go that how important theater is, because I think that it gets lapsed in a lot of the curriculums. Theater is so important. It's art, and it's not necessarily something that should be graded.
If I may, Kat, because I digress for a moment to build off that, then I'll come to you, Carly. Is it also socializes kids when you get them to do them? I did a project with Arts Umbrella a long time ago, and it was to help
Mm.
youth at risk, and teaching them theater games and stuff was helping them develop human connectionness that
Mhm.
wasn't a sporting event like
Absolutely.
when it's a whole bunch of young people trying to create something together, they start to learn sharing and cooperation and empathy for other people. It can be quite beautiful. How about you, Carly, though? Sorry, I digress for a moment to
That's
advocate
beautiful.
for youth and the arts. What attracts you to youth theater?
Yeah, I agree with Kat entirely. I think
Just
that
ditto.
Mhm.
audiences of kids are probably the most honest audiences that I've ever performed for. They're what I love about theater, as opposed to film, and why I haven't really done a lot of film. I focus on theater because it's alive. It's you have real people in front of you, and if it's an audience of kids, like they're going to tell you if they like it. If they're not engaged, they're going to stop paying attention, or they're going to start chattering. They're not as polite as their adult counterparts. So there's a real back and forth that I feel in performing for kids that is really invigorating. And for oftentimes, like we were saying, like it might be the first time I've done some TYA shows where I know for sure that this was the first play that a kid has
Mm,
seen, and that's just so impactful and meaningful. Like to
Mhm.
be such an honor to be able to be like, look, this is live in front of you. It's not Netflix. Like your laughter means that we maybe do it a little bit differently, and yeah, it's just such a great honor to get to do that. I recently watched a little bit of digression, the new Mr. Dress Up documentary, and that was like a huge part of my childhood growing up. And just the care and respect that he has for children and what he brought to the work that he did, I was like, oh yeah, give me Snow White. Like I'm ready to do this show because
Mhm.
it's they're little thinkers, the little creatives themselves, and like to give them the respect that they deserve in the theater space. I'm like, I'm so grateful to get to do this work.
nice. Now, is this now because if you haven't stepped into the rehearsal hall yet, I'm assuming that this is Carousel's Christmas offering.
Mhm.
And you guys are going, I should have done my research. What a bad interviewer I am.
Mm.
I mean, at least I didn't get the name of the show wrong. Uh,
Yeah.
inside
Imagine.
joke. You're mostly doing school shows in the theater. The schools are coming to you, and then you
Mhm.
go into evening shows as it gets closer to Christmas.
They're all daytime shows still, even over the holiday break. So I think
Mhm.
the time slightly shift So it'll be, once the kids are on break, they'll be presumably coming with their families. So it's, we have a few evening shows at the beginning of the run, but it's mostly afternoon shows.
Yeah, I'm going to get you both to pitch this show. You're going to pitch this show to the audience as to why they should bring their kids, or go find kids and bring them to this production. And I'm going to let Kat go first because you're up on my screen right now. And then Carly, you have to use different self techniques that are not the ones that Kat uses. So,
oh my goodness.
I could make it you can't use any of the words that she uses.
Oh my gosh. Where's my script? Where's my script?
Okay. So Kat, I'm going to count you in. You're going to look right at your little green light. So you're talking right into the camera. Tell these parents who are watching this why they should take their kids to this show. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
I think everybody should come see Snow White by Carousel because it is a beautiful story that you probably know, but told in a very energetic and maybe a little chaotic way. But it's also all put on by a group of people of marginalized genders, and with the music and the storytelling that these characters are going to put on, I think it's going to be fun for the whole family. And it's only 45 minutes. Think about 45 minutes of your day. That is one whole episode of, I don't know, Riverdale. You don't want to watch that. Come see Snow White. We have mask performances. We have vocal eye performances. We have lots of ways for the show to be very accessible. So please come check us out.
Nice. Good one. Oh my goodness. You almost covered everything, Carly. I wonder how you're going to sell it.
She's got it, I'm sure.
Okay. So Carly, I'm going to count you in. And know what I would say is just say like hi or something first to make sure the camera jumps to you because you know how Zoom works. Okay.
Gotcha.
Ready, Carly? 3, 2, 1.
Hello. Come see Snow White at Carousel Theatre this December. In the show, Snow White says to the 7 dwarves, who I play, all of, never in my life have I met any grown-ups so silly and kind. And you've got a bunch of silly and kind grown-ups that are putting on this show, especially for you. And Snow White in the show is a little kid. So she goes through the show experiencing the fear of the forest and learning to whether she should trust grown-ups and trying to find herself and figure out what she wants for her life through having silly knock-knock jokes and songs and goofy fights. So it's going to be a blast. And I think that you kids out there are going to see yourselves up on stage and you're going to get to see brilliant, beautiful costumes and lighting and listen to some incredibly beautiful soundscapes and music. And it's a great way to spend your holiday season with us. We would love to see you in the audience and we can't wait to play with you out there. So come see Snow White at Carousel.
Nice. I love that. And we should mention that, yeah, because there's 3 of you on stage because MJ, is it Coomer?
I believe so.
Yeah. So talk about MJ for a bit there. Give MJ a plug.
I worked with MJ years ago. I don't even know if they remember me because I was the behind the scenes ASM starting my journey. And I have consistently said that they are the best sound designer that I've ever worked with. Like having them in the creative space, they're so responsive and generous with their art. And when I found out that they were going to be the musician, I was just like, yippee, this is going to be incredible. I can't wait to get to work with them again.
Nice. Are there songs that, sorry, we're going back into the interview. It's like, are there songs in the show or just a soundscape?
There's it remains to be seen.
Yeah.
There's a live soundscape. I think there's some
there's a couple of little ditties.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, this sounds just wonderful, you guys. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day, learning your lines, no doubt, to get ready to go into the rehearsal hall. Don't miss Snow White at Carousel. Bring the family. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out to talk with me. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.